Grace and peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shout out to the family today. Come on in, give us a thumbs up. Be sure to like, be sure to share. You tuned in to my personal YouTube page, Vicki Dillard. I just want to run something by you real quick. The subject of a black agenda, the subject, America's Achilles heel, family, is the black man and the black woman. There is no question about it. And I'm saying that in a setting that is not inside of the parameters of normal political environment. For example, me giving a podcast or me being a part of a meeting or a forum that's specifically designed to talk about political issues, to talk about black issues. Shout out to you, Terrell. The Achilles heel for America is no doubt the black man and the black woman. And the failure of America to do what is right after hundreds of years. And not just do what is right after hundreds of years to pay us for the free labor of building the most powerful and the richest country on the planet, and by extension sparked economic booms around the globe because of the institution of slavery. It is a thing that we cannot, it is a thing that I said we cannot forget. It is a thing that we cannot demand. And I say that for this reason. Here I am downtown trying to enjoy the sun. And actually, I was journalizing. And as I was journalizing, this old white veteran opened up his mouth and started talking about black people on welfare. I'm minding my own business, black family. And so this white man who said he's a veteran was talking to a group of foreign white folks. I think they were from Germany. And he starts to talk about black people and welfare. And so I asked him a question, and he responded to my question. I said, "Sir, isn't it true that white folk make up the majority of social welfare here in America, food stamps and the like?" He said, "Probably." I said, "Okay." I also mentioned about corporate welfare, which almost 100% of white folk or white entities or white corporations benefit from. And then I asked him again because I wanted to make sure I was hearing him right. I said that you said that you are a veteran. And I told him, I made it very clear how annoying it is to hear white folks talk about their patriotism and talk about them having served in the military for two reasons, family. Number one, I said there are different types of soldiers. I'm not interested in hearing somebody tell me how they've served this country when the reasons you served the country for many of them was based on suppressing or oppressing the darker peoples of the world and raping and robbing their natural resources. That's number one. Number two, it's annoying to me because black folk make up a larger disproportionate number of those that are in the military. And a lot of that reason can be attributed to the fact that going to the military is a way for black folk to fund their education and to also receive other benefits by putting their life on the line. But the other thing that I made clear to this cracker was this fact. I said, number one, black folk during the Civil War, we served as soldiers on both sides of the war. I said, isn't that true? So when we didn't have freedom, when we were not even emancipated, we were fighting, black folks were fighting on both sides of the war as slaves without citizenship here in America, without emancipation. That's number one. I said, also, isn't it true that we served in World War I? We served in World War II. We fought in Vietnam. We fought in the Korean War. We fought in all y'all's wars. I said, is that not true? I said, so that means during the height of y'all's wars with your other international white brothers and sisters who you consider to be enemies, we helped you fight your enemies. Even when we couldn't pee out of the same toilet as y'all. When we couldn't even go through the same door as you all. When you didn't even want us to look you all in your eye, black folks were serving in the military. When we didn't even have freedom. I said, so there is no more patriotic people on the planet than black people. And don't you ever forget it. And I say it again, we are different types of soldiers. When you blow our heads off and it's recorded on an iPhone, don't you come telling me about some time that you done served over across the waters in Afghanistan when we're serving right here in this country every day of our lives. You get no pass. And you will not be absolved of your 464-year-old sin unless and until you, number one, address it, unless and until, number one, you pay reparations. And believe me, brother, there is a divine and universal order that is at play that's going to ensure that because of the mistreatment that America has done upon the black man and the black woman, she will pay because God says so. Read it for yourself. It is written in Genesis 15. He said it before we even served day one. He says after 400 years, God said that he would come and judge that nation that oppressed us. It's real, family, because I'm simply minding my own business. I was journalizing for about an hour, and then I heard this old white man who said he was a veteran and that he served in the military, and he opened up his mouth to talk about the fact that black folk, shout out, brother, again for your intervention, that black folk are recipients as if we're disproportionate or as if we are ravaging the systems of America. And I said, number one, and I'm saying I'm acknowledging this fact that it is true that too many of us are on social systems, but I said the conditions that we're in created such conditions. And I said, you all have failed to pay reparations. And I said, isn't it true that you all helped to build other countries that you helped fight? How is that possible? How does America refuse to pay black folk reparations, but America helped to rebuild countries she helped blew up during World Wars I and II? That don't make sense, does it? How does America pay the Japanese families who were interned here in America? Not enslaved, but interned here in America. They paid each of their family members upwards of $20,000, but y'all refuse to pay black folks reparations. You pay Israel billions with a B every single year. For nearly 70 years, we pay Israel billions of dollars. For what? That does not include the military equipment that we give them. But you refuse to pay black people. I said, y'all didn't come get slaves. You came and got builders. We built the White House. We built the Capitol. We did the layout for Washington, D.C. We did the original governmental layout for which you give credit to your original so-called founding fathers, but you refuse to pay us, and we did it for free. You want us to get over it, but then after that, white folks from around the world benefited from a Homestead Act. America gave white folks free acres of land, large plots of land. And when white folks didn't even know how to do the farming, they were not agrarians. America paid white folks, trained them to learn how to work the land. But you want to tell us to pull yourself up from the bootstrap when everything you've got was through blood and through war and through theft? You better go have yourself a seat. And this was a conversation I had with a white man who's old, who said he was a veteran. I want black folks to never forget that we are the most patriotic people on the planet. And don't you ever forget it. Don't you let none tell us nothing about allegiance. We are they who have been mistreated for longer than any other group of people. We've received some of the worst treatment that any human being has ever received, longer than any other human being. And we don't owe them no explanation. But you're going to continue to see the weapons of God. You're going to continue to see tornadoes. You're going to continue to see so-called climate change. And it is the God himself that's fighting for us. Because you cannot ignore people for over 400 years and tell us to get over it when you keep robbing, raping, and pimping the system. You have nothing to say to us. Don't you ever forget it, beloved. We need to know our history so that we can tell it. So that when I'm talking to some silly little white man that's down here as a veteran, tell me about what black folk need to do. Black folk don't need to do nothing but stay black. You don't get to instruct black folk on nothing. Y'all got too many pedophiles. You've got too many domestic terrorists. You got too much fraud. You got too much thievery. You got too many corrupt government officials that's screwing up the world. Hashtag mind your own white business. You have nothing to say to us. Somebody talk black to me. These are not ordinary times. We're in the fullness of time. Mark my words. Thank you, family. Keep giving me the thumbs up. Keep liking. Keep sharing, beloved. Make sure that you let other people hear this, what I just said. Let me pick up this money. I just found 2 cents on the ground. Somebody talk black to me. I always receive those as signs and wonders. Anyway, black family, I just wanted to share that with you as I was journalizing, minding my own black business. Hearing this man say that I asked him a question, he engaged, and then we just had a little class on the streets, with a K on the streets. I'm from Mississippi, so some of my classmates, some of them used to say, they didn't say the word streets, they used to say streets, and I'd be like, streets? My grandparents would have had a fit if they heard us going around saying that, but you feel what I'm saying, right, family? Anyway, black family, love you to pieces. I leave you in the man